Hello, everyone. Here this morning, kind of late in the day for the daily encouragement, but my day started out rescuing my daughter and son-in-law from their um, home, which is surrounded by water from the Grand River. And we're not expecting the water level to get up to where it'll do any damage in their home, but their cars would be a little bit underwater, and so we needed to get them out. They're going to stay with us for a few days. So that was my morning. Yet was able to spend some time reading Acts 24, which is the chapter that we're in today. And what I found interesting was Paul's words in verse 16. Here's what he says. He says, "So I always take pains to have a clear conscience before both God and man." And I think that is huge. One of the things that I was thinking about in terms of this is this, Paul is not just saying, I want to keep a clear conscience before God and man. He says, I actually take pains to, I think about this. I choose to do certain things and not to do certain things, even at my own detriment. I have to sacrifice at times to make sure I have a clear conscience before God and before man. And I think that is just a beautiful definition of this word called integrity. Integrity meaning that I seek to do what is right in the eyes of God, and I seek to do no harm to others. I don't disrespect, there's no deception, there's no demeaning. So here's what I wrote down in my journal. Integrity is living in such a way that both our vertical relationship with God and our horizontal relationships with others are sincere and right. Um, and I think Paul actually demonstrated this later on in the chapter. Is of course, the whole chapter is about him defending himself before Felix to these Jewish accusers who are really making up stuff and falsely accusing Paul of stirring up a riot when they in themselves are the ones that arrested Paul when he was actually doing nothing. And that was the point that Paul was making throughout his defense, is that I didn't do anything, and they know that, and so the onus is on them to prove it, and they can't prove it. Um, Yet Felix, maybe fearing a little bit of the Jews, he actually kept Paul in custody, and they actually, it sounded like they treated him pretty good, actually, but it kept him in custody. And the text tells us that he was in custody for 2 years, 2 years, and he had frequent conversations with Felix. Now I don't know if Felix and his wife were. Felix was the governor, by the way, and I don't know if they were interested in the gospel or curious. Maybe that was going on. I think that may be part of it. But the text also tells us that he kept meeting often with Paul, hoping that Paul would bribe him. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if Felix thought, hey, I can get a little money out of this and then let Paul go, so I'll keep him until he bribes me, or he was setting Paul up. I don't know. But here's the thing: Paul never did. Paul never bribed Felix, because that's not in Paul's nature. He's not a deceptive guy. He's a man of integrity. He keeps a clear conscience before both God and man. And so here's my prayer that I wrote out today for myself, and perhaps you can live vicariously through my prayer as well. Lord, help me to live with a clear conscience before you. Help me to confess, turn to you, and choose you above sinful desires that promise satisfaction but deliver only guilt. Help me to live with a clear conscience before others and genuinely love them. Help me to say no to any form of gossip, slander, or any form of deception. Help me to be a genuine lover of my neighbor so that you are glorified and the name of Jesus lifted up through this kind of integrity. May God help us to be people of integrity, to be people who keep a clear conscience before both God and man. Hope it was an encouragement to you. God bless.